This is essentially that flip property, the one that we bought it at auction. This thing was rat infested. There were tenants living there when we bought this place, and it was a complete disaster. This entire property was engulfed in briar bushes. Like, you couldn't even see the front of the house. See the red front door right there? We didn't even know that existed. There was so many briars coming over the top side of the house. And then on this side over here, there was another like structure back there. We're back here today. We finished up the renovations. We've done basically an entire overhaul on this place, and we actually since have listed it, and we're now pending at a great price, which is fantastic. It went higher than we were expecting, and we were able to keep our rehab budget, a little bit under control. So we'll get into all those numbers here in a second, but why don't I just show you guys what basically we've done to the property, and then we'll go from there. Starting off, I'm sure you saw new roof on this entire place. So the house itself is around 2,200 square feet. Then we have this detached 3-car garage. So this thing is actually a massive roof, since we have like 2,200 square feet on one level. Just the exterior alone on this place, there was significant repairs. So we had the roof, we had siding. We were actually able to save the siding on the garage here. We had to re-side the entire house. So as you can see, there is a different siding on the garage here. This is called just like a T111 siding. You can see the grains run vertical versus like this siding here. It's like a concrete board. It's called hardy plank siding. And so we did new hardy plank siding on all 4 sides of the house. And that's an expensive item in itself, but it looks and turned out great. And it really needed it because this place was, it was rotting out pretty bad. So all new siding, able to save a little bit on the garage, was good. New windows throughout the whole place. Another fairly large expense item for the exterior. And then the last item on the exterior, well, outside of brush clearing and all that, was a decent size expense as well. There was a lot of decks on this place. So if we walk to the back here, there's this massive deck that comes off the dining room, basically off the slider. So we had to rebuild this. Again, expensive item. Decks and fences, man, it's insane how much they cost. We spent about 25 grand on the decks. Between this one I'm standing on, this one over here that's off the master, and then there's also the front entrance is basically a small like porch that we had to rebuild as well. So between those 3, around 25 grand. There's a killer view out the side here, so we thought it was still a good idea and completely worth it to rebuild it so that we have a, amazing view out the back here like this. So last thing, kind of one of the last major items we did on the exterior, like I mentioned, there was just briars all over the place. There was a structure over here that we tore down. In addition to that, just clearing out all these briars back here. We have 10 acres of land here. You're only seeing probably like 4 to 5 acres of it. It goes way back that way. We didn't clear a ton into the forest area back there, but we did need to clear a nice pad here so that just someone can come in and basically landscape it up how they want to. So you'd be surprised how much just like brush clearing and junk removal actually costs when it was to the extent that we were dealing with here. So, but yeah, that kind of wraps up the exterior. Let me take you through the inside here. So we're going in the back door right now. This is to the laundry room. And if you were with me on the first video, like basically as soon as we walked in here, there was just clothes and junk and trash piled 6 feet tall in here. It was pretty disgusting, pretty insane. This place was foul. Right here is a pantry, and there was mouse traps all over the inside of this thing. There was mouse feces and stuff, and it's just like, okay, that's where their food was kept. And there was people living in here 2 weeks before we started the renovations. I think it had just become too much for them, and they just couldn't keep up with all the maintenance that needed, and it just basically got crazy dilapidated over the years. So it is looking great now. So let's check out the kitchen. This thing here, let me give you a good shot. One, you can see the dining over there. There were some built-ins back there. We just kind of put that back the way it was and added a couple floating shelves, as you can see there. And then if you look at the kitchen here, I'll spin you around. It all turned out pretty good. We had to do all new casework. As you can see, it's a big kitchen, so the casework was a decent sized build just for the amount that was needed. We did solid surface counters. This is just a quartz countertop, which turned out pretty well. And we didn't do a backsplash. Like a lot of times we'll run backsplash from the counters to the bottom of the cabinets. But given that it's a manufactured home, we just decided to save a little bit of money there on that. And we just, ran the quartz up 4 inches on the backside to save a little bit of money. So all in all, it turned out pretty good though, I think. So we obviously did all new flooring throughout. As you can see, this is just kind of a standard LVP that we use. It's kind of a lighter look. In our areas where we flip houses, a lot of the looks now are a lighter wood flooring with then just white walls, white trim. So that's kind of the theme that we stick with usually throughout our flips, as well as just kind of a white shaker cab, white counters, stainless steel appliances. It makes everything kind of pop, and it makes the houses themselves just way brighter inside when you're touring them, and and whatnot. So outside of the main MSA, we're about an hour outside of there. And this resides in a little small community there that's growing, and it's a great little area. And then this particular parcel is probably 10 minutes outside of that. And like I mentioned, it's 10 acres, reasonably priced. We'll get into pricing here in a little bit. So if you guys remember, there was a huge issue in the master closet on this place. Literally the ceiling was caving in. It was completely molded out. It was insane. I'll get to that here in a moment because obviously it's now looking great. But before we get into that, let me just kind of tour you the rest of the place here, show you the living room, show you the other bedrooms, show you the entry that you had to repair, and then we'll get into the rest of the stuff. As you can see here, these manufactured homes, we actually do quite a few of them. I don't want to say quite a few, but you know, they might be like 10% of the renovations that we do end up being like a manufactured home on land. And as you can see, they turn out great. A lot of people shy away from flipping manufactured homes, not really sure why. As long as you're buying like a newer manufactured home, 90s or newer, I mean, they're actually pretty well built. Open floor plan, as you can see. You usually don't have to like worry about knocking down any walls or things like that. And especially in like a country vibe on acreage, people eat them up pretty good. So we usually do pretty well on them. So that main family room area, then that rolls into this kind of secondary family area here. And then we have 2 bedrooms over this way and a bathroom. 2 bedrooms are pretty basic, just standard sized bedrooms here. You know, we do all new lighting throughout. Of course, we did all new trim throughout as well. You can see the window trim, baseboard trim, that all turned out pretty good. And then all new doors and hardware too. So these are just kind of the standard door packs that we use, just a 2-panel white door and then go with some sort of a black or oil rub bronze hardware that then also matches the lighting as well. So I don't need to show you this room over here where basically it's the identical room. And then here's the bathroom that services those 2 bedrooms. It's actually kind of funny. The only thing we saved in this entire house was this shower enclosure. The bathroom here, we did new vanity, new toilet, new flooring, obviously, but this tub shower surround was actually in good shape. Even though we're overhauling everything else, like why not save a couple $1,000? So we kept it, scrubbed it up nice. Obviously, we still added some new oil rub bronze like faucets to it just to update it a little bit. But anyway, that is original to the house. Anytime you can save anything in the house, even though it's like literally every other surface is touched, like I said, if to rip that out, put a new one in or do a tile, any sort of like tile tub surround, it's an extra couple $1,000 and it adds on to the budget, you know? So save what you can. Well, let's go check out the master because this is probably the biggest transformation of the entire house. So let's take a look here. So this is our master bedroom. We'll check out the deck here in a second, but the roof here had been leaking for a long, long time. It looked like a cartoon how much like the shelving was just bowing from all the waterlogged damage and whatnot, and it was just completely molded out in there. Like I mentioned earlier, we did a new roof. We did all new siding because that was obviously damaged as well from all the water. I mean, we had to rip out all of this drywall. We had to repair some of the studs in the wall because they were, you know, had taken on water damage for so many years. They were rotting away. So we did have to do some repairs in the walls themselves and then obviously re-sheet rock and whatnot, but it turned out great. I've never seen a closet in a manufactured home as big as this one is. So we went with the barn door here because as you can see, like this opening is kind of directly in the center of this closet. So any sort of, you know, left-hand swing or right-hand swing door, it'd be a little awkward. It wouldn't sit flush up against a wall. That's one reason. Another reason is you might be able to tell, but the opening is wider than a normal doorway. So we would have had to like frame it in slightly in order to actually fit a normal sized door or order a oversized door, which costs a little bit more. And then the third reason is that country folks love their barn doors. So this is like a little bit of a sizzle feature, I guess, where it's like, if you can add in a barn door or 2 in your property, I think people tend to like those a lot. So if you toured this with me originally, this sliding glass door, when we looked out this direction, it was just a wall of briars here. You couldn't see anything. And once we cleared those out, we realized, holy cow, we have an awesome view from the master here, which is one of the main reasons we decided to rebuild this deck. And we actually even expanded it, made it a little bit bigger, actually quite a bit bigger than it originally was. We probably doubled the size of it. So this way, the new buyer, maybe they put a hot tub out here. Like I think that's probably the prime location for a hot tub overlooking some awesome rolling hill views, but they can do whatever they want with it. So we decided to spend a little bit of extra money, capitalize on the view, and make the deck a little bit bigger. So let's go check out the master bath. This was another area that was pretty gnarly. This whole house was nasty. There was so much more damage in the master than any other area. Like I mentioned, we already talked about the closet, but also this master bath was completely molded out. So let's go check this out. So I don't know if you remember, but a lot of these manufactured homes, they'll have like these big corner tubs that are all like built in and cabinetry and casework. It's just kind of goofy. It's out of style. It's outdated. So we demoed all of that and just replaced it with this cool like standalone soaker tub here, which I think looks awesome. And there was plenty of room obviously to fit all this in here. The bathroom itself is actually pretty massive for a manufactured home. So we have a shower over here. We redid this. We just did a 3-piece insert shower surround. We didn't spend the extra dollars to do any tile work in here just because it does increase budget quite a bit. And we already had so much work to do here and the budget was so high. We're like, man, we got to figure out areas where we can shave some cost. And choosing to do an insert like that over a new tile shower is a pretty big savings. That probably saved us, $4,000 to $5,000 by doing that. And then like I mentioned too, we didn't do any backsplash in the kitchen. That's a couple $1,000 savings. So it all adds up. As you can see, we got new vanities here. Originally, we were toying with the idea of just doing 2 separate vanities. We basically just put it back exactly how it was, where the vanity top wraps around the corner and then just 3 individual mirrors. So all in all, I think it turned out pretty good. So that kind of wraps up the inside of the house. Talked about the exterior as well. I'm gonna get into numbers here in a second, what our final budget was on this place and what we are pending at, because that's pretty exciting. Before we get into that, let me just show you this one last thing, which is the garage. And I don't know if you remember, but there was like a super funky like room that had been built out in the garage and we had to address that. So let's just take a look in there and see how it looks. So heading in here, we got our 3-car garage, which is great. If you remember, there was this super awkward like kidnap room or something that was in the middle of the garage here. This whole garage was completely unfunctional due to this room that was in here. So obviously we got rid of that, turned this back into just a standard 3-car garage. So we just decided to restore this garage to its original purpose. So how did the final numbers shake out? So originally we bought this place at $375,000. We didn't know exactly what repairs were. And then when we got inside, it was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a massive project. And we were thinking repairs might land anywhere from $150,000 to $175,000 with our exit price being at $600,000. So all said and done, we're actually able to stick to $150,000 on the renovations. And we listed this property 2 weeks ago at $600,000, which actually now at the time, we were like, okay, this is actually a pretty good price on the area. The market's heated up a little bit since we bought it and acreage properties are a little bit more in demand. So long story short, we listed it at 600 and we actually had multiple offer situation. We had a ton of traction on this deal and we got all the way up to a $660,000 purchase price. So we got it bid up by 60 grand. We are in contract pending. Now, obviously we just got to make it through inspections to get this thing closed up. But at that 660, we're looking at a gross profit of 135,000, which is amazing. We have some additional expenses, real estate commissions, closing costs, things like that, that'll be taken out, but still, it's going to be a very, very profitable deal for us. It wasn't looking like the greatest deal at a $600,000 exit, but at 660, it's gonna turn out pretty nice. So we're super excited about this one. On future investments, we know that like this particular area, this product type, the acreage, we can be a little bit more bullish on our buys and a little bit more aggressive on our ARVs because this product right now is in super high demand. So again, going back to knowing your market, knowing your sub-markets is a very important thing and valuable skill to learn if you're gonna be a house flipper. Well, that's a wrap for this one, guys. Tell me what you think about this house. Do you like the finishes? Would you live here? Hit me up in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. All right, see ya.